This is the Tuesday edition of Good Morning Namibia. Now, the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology will launch the 8th National ICT Summit today. The official ICT Summit is scheduled to take place from the 9th to the 11th of September in the capital city. The event will bring together industry leaders, innovators, policymakers and stakeholders under the theme Building Resilience to Adapt or Die in the Era of Digital Transformation and Artificial Intelligence. Now, joining us in studio with more details is Fillemon Johannes, who is the Deputy Director for IT Infrastructure Development at the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Elago. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Can you please provide us with an overview and some of the objectives and goals of the 8th National ICT Summit?
Thank you very much. The 8th National ICT Summit aims to bring together the ICT sector players and professionals to discuss challenges and trends, developing trends and challenges in the ICT space, and probably also to showcase the innovations and solutions that are trending in the serving the ICT clients in the sector.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. The theme selected for this year is quite strong. Very, very strong in itself. And just to repeat it for the viewers, the theme is Building Resilience to Adapt or Die in the Era of Digital Transformation and Artificial Intelligence. How was this theme selected?
Yes, the theme is selected based on trending developments. Last year we were focused on cybersecurity. This year we chose that theme to just align ourselves. We spoke about, it's not first time digital transformation is featuring on the summit. In previous summits it had also featured, but then in this case, after cybersecurity, we realized there is also AI that's actually moving fast.
Okay.
And then eventually there is a myth of AI is going to do that and this, but then what we want the industry to appreciate is the fact that AI is not here for the myth that it's perceived to be, but what the sector needs to do is to build the necessary resilience to adopt or otherwise allow themselves to actually not being relevant in the current development in terms of digital transformation. In addition to that, digital transformation adds another layer of operational excellence by adding or facilitating the operations of anybody, be it archiving, be it the writing, be it finding something in your computer or systems in your organization, hence that theme.
All right. Now, looking at this theme and some of the panel discussions and keynote speakers that are expected for this event, who are we looking at?
Like any other summit, usually the speakers and the exhibitors would be, in most cases, from the sponsors. Sponsors will have the slots to actually speak or present on a subject or on a topic matter that's in line with the summit theme. And then other speakers will be guest speakers that are invited by the sponsors or otherwise by the ministry or the honorable minister would in most cases have a guest speaker that at this point we don't usually announce or it's not yet known. And then until such time in the summit when we avail who is the guest speaker of the honorable minister or of the summit in general.
All right. Of course, this summit is centered around the theme that we discussed earlier. But looking at it, what would you say will the challenges and opportunities be that will be discussed at this? Will they be centered solely on the theme, or will you also address some challenges and opportunities within the field of the ICT sector?
Usually we concentrate on discussions, or given the time frame that the summit must happen, it's 3 days. And then eventually we won't be so accommodative of so many discussion topics, but we would first concentrate on the subject matters around the theme And then if there is any time, eventually we would allow for out-of-line questions or issues to be discussed. We won't definitely just shut anybody that has a view on a different aspect, but it should be related. Yes.
Will the platform also provide an opportunity to facilitate networking amongst various stakeholders present? For example, some of the lawmakers, some of the industry leaders, innovators, etc.?
Definitely, that's the purpose, because we're trying to bring these lawmakers, ICT players, seasoned industry experts to give the opportunity to those that either want to meet or want to discuss a certain challenges, and eventually in one room, in the same venue, have private or one-on-one discussions, or otherwise in the plenary format, or otherwise we have another breakaway sessions that we also allow for smaller groups to discuss and digest certain topics on a much smaller group.
All right. How will the ministry rather ensure that the outcomes that will be shared at the summit will be implemented within the ICT national strategy?
Thank you. Yes, the ministry provides the platform for the sector to come together and discuss the challenges and the training developments, and at the same time also discuss the workarounds around these issues. So then we remain the coordinating agent when there is a certain solution or issue that's raised that requires further actions from the ministerial side to serve as a coordinator. I'll give you one example. One of the previous summits had panel discussions and presentations around digital transformation, where eventually the national digital strategy emerged. So what the summit brought about the discussions, and then brainstormed some structures and a skeleton kind of a document. The ministry eventually continued with the coordination and ensuring that the digital strategy is realized. Yes, as today we can talk of a draft this national digital strategy that we are also envisaging that we are likely to launch it at this current summit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The summit is expected to take place, of course, as I indicated in the beginning, that is from the 9th to the 11th of September. And you've also indicated that there will be exhibitors. There are usually also sponsors at the summit. That is the tradition. How can those interested individuals be part of the summit? Is there the opportunity still open?
Yes, the summit registration will still open for public. Currently, we are interacting mostly with the sponsors and the potential exhibitors and the presenters and speakers for the summit. But then the general public will be will communicate when the registration will be open, most likely to be online as usual. So then the public can register at any time, and then when the venue is also announced, then we will provide all the information for registration.
All right.
Usually there is no restriction. Can be individuals, can be companies, can be SMEs, can be institutions or smaller institutions. Yeah.
Okay, this is the 8th edition. One might ask, there have been 7 other summits before, this is the 8th. How does a summit like this actually contribute to the development of the ICT sector in Namibia?
Like any other public platform, the summit provides for bringing together experts. And then it's through these experts that the training development is made known to individuals and sector players. And then eventually the challenges that perhaps might have been noticed that are impeding factors of ICT development are also discussed. And obviously these great minds will not only bring about the challenges, but also in most cases would propose what could be done to alleviate or to work around that impediment when necessary. And then, yes, and eventually recommendations are provided, and then action plans can be developed based on what is proposed to be the next action from the summit. Yes.
All right. The launch of the summit is expected to take place today. Please give us the brief on that.
Yes, the launch of the 8th National ICT Summit will take place today, under the theme as we discussed. The sponsors, the general public are all invited, and then this is going to happen from 1400 this afternoon, and it will be officiated by the Honorable Minister of ICT, MICT. Yeah.
Okay. Your final thoughts before we let you go?
Thank you. I would like to just thank NBC as our partner in the media space to give us the opportunity to actually speak about the summit. But then lastly, I would like to call upon the ICT sector players to show up. The launch is not necessarily just for the sponsors, but anybody else who may come around, and we hope to see everybody that side.
All right. Where is this?
That will be at the Roof of Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Kleinven, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. All the best with the launch and the build-up towards the summit.
Thank you for having me, Elago.
All right. Well, that was a conversation with Fillemon Johannes. Now, he is the Deputy Director of IT Infrastructure Development at the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. And he was talking to us about the expected launch of the 8th National ICT Summit that is expected to take place later today. That is from 1400 hours. And the event will be officiated by Minister Emma Theophilus. Now, this event is preceding the actual ICT Summit that is expected to take place from the 9th to the 11th of September this year. We'll be back with more conversations. Please stay with us.